It's beautiful. Oh my god, look at these trees. Look at that water wheel. Look at these little goblin guys. Look at the combat. By the 9, it's fucking incredible. Is a reaction that nobody has ever had to RuneScape.
Could kill Manx when it registers.
When it registers, look, they know it's lagging. Look, the hit didn't even spawn.
So why then, you may ask, are so many players abandoning the lush cinematic worlds of modern MMOs, like World of Warcraft, and retreating into the shitty pixelated grindfest that is old school RuneScape?
It only exists because people have nostalgia for it for 25 or 30 years. That's the main reason. That's it.
Hey guys, I'm 2D9 Rain. Today we're gonna talk about some real nerd shit, some real cool shit, and then some really real shit. And we'll finally answer the question, why? Why this shitty game? Why is this the WoW killer? It's like when Frodo and Sam threw the ring in Mount Doom, and Sauron was probably like, what the fuck are even those? What the hell is a hobbit? You're telling me that's the guy that did it? Yes, that's the guy. In the words of G.K. Chesterton, there are many ways to fall down, but there's only one way to stand up straight. So, while we might mention some of WoW's failures, we're mostly going to talk about the standing up straight part.
No!
No way. And so, without further ado, RuneScape. Old school RuneScape. Ignore the other one. The click on a tree while on second monitor at work game. The 92 is only halfway to 99 grindfest. The bank stand and girlfriend buy and tick perfect snowflake Iron Man epitome of the fun half of autism. When I was little, I used to sit in school and daydream about my RuneScape account. I would pull out some notebook paper, college rule of course, I'm not a freak, and I would start planning all the cool stuff I would do when I got home. 4,000 XP to 43 prayer, kill 250 moss giants, bury bones, 18 slayer and 30 range for animal magnetism quest. My notes weren't just the dreams of a little kid. I'm gonna be a powerful warrior. They were also a step-by-step plan on how to get there. After school, I would log on for my allotted 1 hour a day on the family computer and spend the entire hour killing rock crabs north of Relica with a dragon battle axe. Why? Because I knew that if I did that every day for the next week, I would get 82 strength, the second highest strength level at my middle school.
As the adage says, you give a poor man a fish and you feed him for a day. You teach him to fish, you give him no.
You see, even as a child, I knew what brought me back to the game every day. It was always number go up. Every skill has a level. Every level has XP. Even your bank has a number. Your total level, your quest points, your KC, your collection log, everything is measurable. And when you log in for the very first time, you run over to a tree and chop it. Boom, XP drop. And then you open the stats window. Oh my god, everything is a 1. That's so small. If only there was something I could do about, oh my god, it's a 2. Ah, the stats tab. We love our stats tab. There's something explicit in it, but also implicit. It not only measures all your progress, but from the very beginning it shows you look at all the shit you could do, and look at how bad you are at it, but also look at how good you can be at it. You click on one of the skills and boom, pop-up window with all the stuff that better players are doing.
All right, another day. Another night of distracting myself from the various problems in my life by playing World of Warcraft.
Ah yes, the burnout. Mindlessly logging into a game you've played for years just because, well, what else are you gonna do? Try something new? Gross. But we RuneScape players do this too. Hell, everybody does this, gamers or not. Grab a beer and turn on the sports channel. Watch all of Friends for the 4th, 13th time. Old habits die hard or something like that. But 2D9 Rain, you said RuneScape was different. Yeah, I think people use RuneScape as an escape sometimes, but RuneScape players are also up to something. Except the people bank standing at the GE. I don't know what the fuck those guys are up to.
Is anyone buying fish?
I'm literally a hooker.
Oh.
I'm literally a hooker.
You already said that.
You're all stupid losers.
Human beings at their most fundamental level are goal-driven creatures. We take aim, we plot a course, we wish and we dream. And our perceptual systems, the way that we see the world, orient themselves around those dreams. It's like when you get a new car and then you just start seeing that same car everywhere you go. It's an echo of the principle in the book of Matthew. Ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. The reticular activating system is a network of neurons in the brainstem responsible for regulating attention. It acts as a filter for sensory information and tells us what's important and what can be ignored. But what the hell does important even mean? Like, how does your brainstem know what's important? Well, there's another book called The Obstacle is the Way, which focuses on the Stoic principle that obstacles aren't just things to overcome. They are the path to growth, excellence, and success. So you log into RuneScape and you're standing at the Grand Exchange like everybody else, and you see someone with some sexy ass bandos tassets, sweat glazed thighs pumping as they run to the bank. You imagine yourself wearing some tassets of your own. You rush over to the banker and the obstacles become apparent immediately. 13.8 million GP and 65 defense. But those aren't just obstacles. They're the very things that tell you how to grow. Go make money. Go train your defense. And so it begins. The most familiar experience in all of RuneScape. How do you train your defense? Melee training. How do you train melee efficiently? Get high strength and attack levels. How do you get high strength and attack levels efficiently? You can do Waterfall Quest and the Fight Arena Quest, which grant a ton of free attack and strength experience. What are the requirements for Waterfall Quest and Fight Arena? And so it goes. I have multiple videos, namely what we refer to affectionately as the Seedbox video and the Grardor Saga, that are about this very thing, and this type of goal setting where the desire is subjective, where the goals are both relatively achievable and subjectively valuable, and lastly, where you're constantly setting newer, bigger goals along the way, is the most powerful form of orienting yourself in the world, both in Gielinor and in real life. Most of the positive emotions you experience in your life are not the result of you achieving a goal, but of the perception that the efforts you're putting in are moving you incrementally in the direction you want to go. The nectar really is in the journey.
If all these WoW players or soda popping was going to play RS, what they need to do is make a goal for themselves. Big quest or get a fire cape or something, and then they're truly going to enjoy it.
No game does this like old school RuneScape. No game measures it and shows it to you with every hit, every quest completion, every new collection log slot like RuneScape does. Kill number 560 the enhanced crystal weapon seed, please! Please, fuck! No! It never works! I think the whole magic of RuneScape comes from the fact that the game's not really about anything else. Most new players report when they start playing the game that they feel like it's kind of open-ended and like it doesn't really tell you what to do. And yeah, there's some quests and there's some NPCs around Lumbridge, but mostly you just kind of make it up. You pick a skill or you see someone with a cool item and you pick that, and then off you go into your grand adventure. It kind of reminds me of a time when people used to do things because they just liked doing them and they thought it was worth doing. You know, before everyone online started telling you that this was the correct way to play a game, or that hypertrophy training was the best way to get in shape, or that you have to go to college, or now you probably shouldn't. I don't know, it feels like the human part is kind of picking whatever you want to do and following your curiosity and interest. If you look at the YouTube content around RuneScape, including my own, it's a whole bunch of niche accounts with specific challenges that people are kind of making up for themselves. Hell, the whole Iron Man game mode came about because people thought, wow, wouldn't it be fun if I just played the game differently? And now you got people locking themselves in chunks and getting 99s by killing the men in Lumbridge, but that shit is like crack. I mean, what's going on?
What is RuneScape about if not about setting goals and accomplishing them? That's the beauty of the game. There is no wrong way to play.
This is, I think, the most important part of all of it. Something that's not only fundamental to RuneScape, but life in general. This is why people bail on so many MMOs, yet RuneScape, this silly little dark medieval fantasy point-and-click adventure game that accidentally became an MMO, survives. To quote G.K. Chesterton a second time, fairy tales do not tell children that dragons exist. Children already know that dragons exist. Fairy tales tell children that dragons can be killed. RuneScape never dies because it's true, but it's true in the way good stories and myths are true. It's a reflection of what's really real. That when we challenge ourselves and face our fears, we grow, and we grow to the measure of that challenge. Exposure therapy, strength training, the idea that practice makes perfect, every action builds pathways in our neurological systems that reinforce and strengthen that action. Those are real life XP drops. Everything you ever do is transforming you into the person you will be tomorrow. And this truth, this honest way of interfacing with the world, is the lifeblood of RuneScape. It's the reason why, even after so many decades, people are still telling their stories and sharing their triumphs and their failures. Other MMOs and other games kind of lost this along the way. They became about looking cool or flashy, or being sexy, or making the game look shiny and new. But like most things in life, as you mature and get older, you realize that that stuff doesn't hold a lot of of value. Life's a lot more about doing a few things over and over really well, and not so much about hopping from one shiny new thing to another.
I think a lot of MMO players out there are looking for that number go up feeling, and I really don't think there's many games that do it better than this one. That famous RuneScape quote, "You never quit, you only take breaks," just holds up year after year. Old School's early game and mid game is always gonna have that sense of familiarity. It truly is always waiting for you.
If you look at the culture around RuneScape, it's full of people suffering as a joke. Like even my latest video title is, "I risk my sanity at RuneScape's boss for 21 days straight. God help us, it's time for leagues." We use the depressed Soyjack memes in our thumbnails. We joke about our spreadsheet dopamine and have dick measuring contests about how stupid of a thing we did in the game. It's this honesty about what life is really like outside of the game that's actually reflected in the game that allows people to take it seriously even in their 30s and 40s. You know, there's a rite of passage in the game that basically all players go through called getting your first fire cape. There's a final boss in the fight caves named Jad that has some pretty punishing mechanics and that most players die fighting their first couple of times. And getting your first fire cape is still something that everybody remembers, and we congratulate each other every time someone else does it. But for me and many other players, at this point, the fight cave is a trivial fight. People are fighting 3 or 6 Jads at a time as only one small part of a larger challenge. And it's the fact that these are all relative, that killing Jad and getting your fire cape can still be important to one player, while another one is struggling with something completely different that keeps the game evergreen. Now, I don't know if this whole WoW players moving to RuneScape is like some kind of fling and it'll be over in a month or two. Hell, I'll even probably try WoW at some point myself. But I do know that as long as RuneScape stays true to its original design, the whole you get out of it what you put into it, I think people are going to be playing this game for a really long time. You can look at everything in life like a game, and you get to decide what games you think are worth playing. Because life really isn't about the games that you play, it's about how you play them. Or maybe it's a little bit about both. Probably both, but that's another video. So let me know what you guys think, and I guess I'll see you at the Grand Exchange.